Looking at Netflix here. Okay, so bearish day. It's been bearish for a while. Been pretty much straight down since first week of September. Earnings did come out today, and they were surprisingly good, and it still sold off. So I do think it is at a level of support, though. So let's see right here. Price respected this area several times here and here, and now is currently in it. So we'll see what happens if it breaks lower. I just want to see if we look at the moving average, you can see price did just recently cross over back in on Wednesday, about a week ago. So price did cross over, is technically bearish now. So looking for sells, but like I said, I do think that it is kind of at a level of possible support. So first things first, I'd be looking for a pullback upwards. Of course, may not get it, but before I would sell this, I'd be looking for, a pullback, because we don't really know when this sell-off's going to end. So there's a couple areas here. Obviously, that area that we looked at before. I want to just throw this on a weekly quick here. Sorry if I'm all over the place here. Oh, this is a heavy area of resistance up here, so it makes sense it sold off and now it's pulling back. So let's just pretend that this is still bullish. You can see this section here, we pulled back, we got our 50% retracement. So if we move this fib level here, you can see it's right at the 786. This week so far it is actually going through it. We'll see how this week closes. So we got still Thursday, Friday, and if this tends to get, if this gets bought back up, then and closes above 352, 10 the week, and it might just be a deep pullback, and we might continue upwards still. So I just want to see if we're looking at a fib for this entire segment of price. I mean, it's still got a ways to go. Obviously, this 618 price, 286, is very significant. So I mean, if price keeps selling off, that's probably where it is still headed. But, and like I initially said, I'd be looking for a pullback first before selling. I just don't know how much further it's going to go. I mean, you don't really have, let's just see, like our main area here, there's a bit of support and resistance and a lot of liquidity in this area right here, here, and here. So might get bought up in this section, might come back up to 50%, 618, and then sell off at that point, back down. As far as just this week, it moves about 28 bucks a week. That'll probably go up a little bit. So about 30 bucks a week is that 18. So it still has more room to go. So the main area I would look at for this week, if this continues to sell off, let's see, 344 is the current low for the week. If we add another 10 bucks, 12 bucks, you're looking at about 330 for the ATR, the average range for this week. So we'll put this in here. So this is about our weekly range. So it still has a bit more to go on the week, and I mean it's been bearish all week, even with positive earnings. It sold off today. So I do see it keep heading down. As far as trade setup, though, I got nothing. I got it's got to pull back up first for this a possible short down to 330, 320 area. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know where you would place your stop. So there's no real adequate trade there. There's no, I don't see a setup there. I'd wait for it to pull back up before anything, but I do think it's going to continue down to about 330, 320. So if you are in Nflx shorts, I mean, I would still hold them for the rest of the week. I think they're still solid. And price did cross over this daily moving average, so eventually it's going to pull up and probably retest it again. I do think a lot of these tech stocks, which are very, very overbought, and with the economic times sort of shifting, I do think we are due for a nasty recession relatively soon, and I think it's going to affect these tech stocks heavily. They are really the only ones propping up the S&P 500 right now, some of them dramatically more than others, but I do think that this might continue bearish for a while. Maybe not yet, might still be a few months, might be Q1 of 2024. So it's kind of yeah, kind of a lot to take in, but I mean, as far as the rest of the week, I do think it's going to sell off to 330, 320 area, and then maybe get bought back up, and then at that point, I mean, you can see where this liquidity lines up. It's right at this 50% 618 area. So if we we'll check back on this we'll check back in on this next week, but I bet you it'll be something like this. I bet you price comes down to about 320, 325, and gets bought back up to this area, and that might be kind of where the bears really take over to finalize this all this price action. So and continue to the downside. Break these key areas here. This is the main area here, and then after that you're looking at about 290. So if it breaks 320, it's going to 290, and then yeah, there's just there's not much here. And I mean, if we look at like this really nasty bear segment here, you can actually see like if we're looking at this on a macro scale here, you can see price after it's sold off here from $700 all the way down to 162, and then came back up, hit this 50% 618 zone, which is very, very common. It's my favorite zone by far. This might just be continuing its trend back down. So if we want to look at an extension, I mean, I don't think it'll go this low, but you never know what kind of times we're looking at, but where Nflx is headed. But I mean, like, yeah, I don't think it's going to $14, but I mean, that would be the 127 extension, so of that of this price segment. So I mean, who knows? I really doubt that, but I mean, maybe. But yeah, so yeah, just to close off, I think the end of the week, I think it's still going to be bearish with earnings coming out and being bearish. Like, earnings were good, but it still caused price to fall. So I think it's going to continue down to 330, 320, and then maybe possibly get bought up next week. Because if we look at it, the monthly range, yeah, it'll be about its normal monthly range as well at that point. So, and granted, we'll still have another week. We'll still have 2 weeks left of October. So, I do think that the monthly range will be completed by about 320 down here. So by the end of the week, the monthly range could be completed. Therefore, the rest of the month is just a pullback. So to finish it off, and then heading into November and December, which usually pushes these stocks up, but maybe not Nflx. I guess the other stocks, the retail type stocks. But yeah, so that's my take on Nflx. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious what you predict is going to happen with Nflx in the near future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.